Live on tape from Brunswick Zone Austell in Marietta, Georgia, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour, Road Trip Edition. Prodigy Bowlers Tour is a series of unofficial, informal, and impromptu after-league challenge matches conducted by some of the most active and engaged junior bowlers in the Atlanta metro area and around the state of Georgia, in an effort to simulate the pressure of big-time tournament competition in an open play environment. The mission of Prodigy Bowlers Tour is to celebrate junior bowling while we elevate junior bowlers. For the first time ever, Prodigy takes the show on the road, as our usual home center, Brunswick Zone Roswell, was booked all weekend with a big tournament. At the last minute, Dennis Lockhart, the general manager at Brunswick Zone Austell, agreed to let us bring our show to Austell, and with an assist from the center's youth director, Sandra Keating, we were able to stage the largest, most exciting Prodigy Bowlers Tour event in history. Prior to this day, the largest Prodigy event we had staged began with 11 kids. But on this day, 6 kids from Brunswick Zone Roswell traveled to Brunswick Zone Austell, where they were met with 20 more kids at the host center, including 2 kids who came to visit from Stars and Strikes, bringing the field to a whopping 26, more than doubling the largest field we'd ever had. The field was divided into 3 groups: the littles, the bigs, and the girls. The littles consisted of the little kids. The bigs were the boys that were too old and too big to be considered part of the littles. And the girls were, well, the girls in the field. The kids bowled 2 games of qualifying, at which time we cut the field to the top 2 in each group. The final 2 then squared off in a championship match in each of the 3 divisions. We crowned 3 winners. We begin our show today with the littles, the younger kids. Here are the results after 2 games of qualifying. Brunswick Zone Austell's Quentin led the way with games of 134 and 141 for a 276 total and a substantial lead over the number 2 seed, Hunter, from Brunswick Zone Roswell, who fired games of 108 and 121 for a 229 total. And while Damian and Brandon didn't make our show, Brandon had a solid bounce back after a slow start, and Damian showed consistency in his 2 games. We might be seeing them again in the future. And here we go with our first championship match of the day to decide the title among the littles, the little kids. Quentin, being the higher finisher between the 2 kids, had the choice of starting lanes, and he has elected to let Hunter lead off. Oh, well, that's not what he had in mind for an opening salvo. So Hunter finds the gray board on his first shot of the match. Well, we're bowling on USBC blue number 3, or at least that's what they told us they ran. We think that's the pattern the kids were bowling on at Pepsi in Columbus last week. Those who were there say this pattern is not behaving anything like that, so I'm not sure. But in any case, that's 9 out for Hunter to start the match. He would have liked to have had that second ball as his first ball. But now we get our first look at Quentin. Pretty simple game, right down the middle. Well, I didn't quite find the middle, but he keeps it on the lane anyway, and there is a 1 count to start. So we're inching forward now. Looks like Quentin has grabbed a different ball for his spare. This one has a little better line. And kicks out the 4, so that's an 8 count. So both youngsters start with an open. This little guy, Quentin, he just ran away from everybody in qualifying. Ooh, through the nose this time, leaving the 4, 7, 10, so he's got his hands full now. We had a total of 4 littles to compete. Well, he goes for the split boldly, but that one falls off into the channel, so that's 7 out and back-to-back opens to start the match. Both of these youngsters 9 years old. Hunter up on the right. Oh my goodness, look at that ball go into a roll on the back end. And he steamrolls the pins. That is a 10-pound ball, friends. Just proves you don't need a heavy ball to generate power. You don't need a lot of power in your body to generate power either. If you can get the ball into a good roll, the ball will do the work. This one breaks a little too much, goes through the nose, and Hunter has the 6-10 to deal with. Going cross lane at it, as you should. And oh, that one gets a little too wide, and he chops the 10 off the 6 for another open frame, and that tightens the match again. Just 2 pins separating them. Quentin up on the right. All right, that's a much better shot. And he leaves the 2 pin. The folks here at Brunswick Zone Austell were so kind and welcomed us with open arms to hold our Prodigy Bowlers Tour filming this week when we were unable to go at our home center, Brunswick Zone Roswell, because there's a tournament booked there all weekend long. And Quentin lets that one get away from him a little bit, so that's another open frame. And he will now move over to the left lane. That one may have slipped off his hand a little bit. This is another pretty good one, but oh, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness gracious, what a bad break. The 7-10 split. Now, I have a running bet with the kids at Roswell that if they make the 7-10 split, well, they win my car. Of course, I'd never tell them that if it ever happens, it might be a Hot Wheels that I have in my dresser drawer or something like that, but well, he's still looking for his first mark as Hunter will get up and move over to the right lane. Will it recover? Here it comes. Look at Hunter. He almost blows the rack. Knocks the 5 over into the 4. It doesn't quite get over to get the 7. I guess we could call that a swish and 7. Going cross lane at the 7 and gets it. Not only did we have the most kids ever bowling in a Prodigy Bowlers Tour event, 26 in all. The largest one previously was 11, so this was a huge event for us. But we also had a ton of parents and relatives and brothers and sisters watching. So, and Hunter goes Brooklyn to get another strike. Yeah, we had quite a little crowd watching this week as we spread out across 3 pairs of lanes. And Quentin misses the head pin to the left. He leaves the 1-3-5. This is a difficult little spare because of the sleeper, the backwood, the 5 pin. You've got to hit the 1 pin fairly square to make sure you get the back one, but you don't want to chop the 3. Oh my goodness, that was awfully close. He threw that one well. And he's starting to get a little frustrated, it looks like. He bowled really well, 134, 141 in his 2 games, so this is not indicative of the way he bowled throughout qualifying. This time the ball sails wide right, and he's got the 1-2-3-5-7. You want to shoot this just like you would a strike. And that one just ticks the head pin on the left, and he leaves a couple, so that's another open frame for Quentin. Quentin averages 102 in his Saturday morning league, so obviously he's having a bit of an off game. Here's Hunter up on the right. This one breaks high and into the nose, leaving the 6-7-10 split. Got to get the ball over in the 10 pin area and just nick the 6 on the right side, slide it over into the 7. Hunter made this at Pepsi last week, but this one slides off into the gutter, and he is open once again in the 6th. But 32 pin lead as he heads over to the left lane to bowl in the 7th. And that one finds the pocket, and he leaves a 10 pin. He moves way left on the approach. Try to throw it about like he threw it a moment ago at the 6-10. And there it is. Hunter's just bowling in his first season of league. He just started a few months ago. Quentin misses the head pin to the right. He leaves the 1-2-4-7. We call this the fence. And the way you make it, well, there's actually a couple of ways, but the way we recommend you make it is put the ball right between the 1 and the 2. Anytime you have a spare, you always need to hit the pin in front. And that was close. Boy, he just got a little too much of the head pin. And he will head over to the left lane to bowl his 8th frame. Looks like a pretty good shot there, right in the pocket. And leaves the 5. You can see on his face, he's kind of wondering what has gone wrong here. And just misses on the left. So, well, bless his heart, I know he's frustrated. Hunter playing the second arrow. This one hooks a little too much, and he's going to get another crack at the 6 pin now.
And look out, this one goes by the 6-pin. All right, projecting forward, Quentin going at a 106 pace. He would have to get a double somewhere along the way to catch Hunter. At least one double. Well, Hunter may make it a little easier for him if he throws any more of them in the moat like that. That's a couple of them that he's thrown in the gutter on the left lane. You can't send it too wide on this pattern. It will not recover. That's a little better shot there. Still goes high, leaves the 4-10. That's 8 out. So the situation is this. If Quentin gets 3 strikes in a row, he has a possible 126. If he goes off the sheet, he would force Hunter to mark. But instead, he leaves the 3-4-7. That's a split, and that lowers his possible high score to 116. And Hunter already has that beat. So Hunter is our winner in the Littles division. These kids will go ahead and finish out their match. Let's see Quentin make a trick shot here. Put that ball over to the right of the 3. Oh, he gave it a good try. Quentin's mom pacing back and forth in the concourse area, watching anxiously. This one goes just a little bit high, leaves the 4-7. Well, this isn't the game Quentin was hoping to bowl, I know that. But when his mom gets him home, he just needs for her to love him up a little bit, and it'll all be fine. How about it? Oh, are you kidding? Oh, man. Good try. An 83 for Quentin. Definitely below his average, but he bowled great to get here. He was almost 50 pins ahead of Hunter in the 2 games of qualifying. 46 pins, I guess. And the next one behind them was another 40 some odd pins behind Hunter. So Quentin really just lapped the field in those 2 qualifying games. But you know what? He bowled 3 games of junior league this morning, 2 games of qualifying. This is his 6th game. And that's just a lot of bowling for a little guy like that. He may have just run out of gas. But there they are, shaking hands. And it's Hunter who will sign the coveted trophy pin for the Littles. You'll see that when we return.
Now, bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your bowling center with Prodigy Bowlers Tour t-shirts and sportswear, including collared shirts with the Prodigy logo printed on the back to show that you support junior bowling. Check out the entire assortment of Prodigy t-shirts in the Brunswick store. Visit ProdigyBowlersTour.com to see the selection. See the ash gray Celebrating Junior Bowling, Elevating Junior Bowlers t-shirt, or the Who Will Win the Coveted Trophy Pin t-shirt. Or maybe you'd want the one that says, I've come to get my bowl on, right on the front of the shirt, or simply, Bowl Me. There's a t-shirt that says, Bowling. You probably don't get it because it's mainly for smart people. And if you're a proud parent with a junior bowler, we've got a t-shirt just for you. And how about this t-shirt? You're bowling an 8th grader. Prepare to meet defeat. Available in grades 1 through 9, most in both adult and kid sizes. And finally, the shirt that reads, Bowl Better, Have More Fun. take lessons. Then maybe you can keep up with me. The Brunswick store is powered by the people at Cafe Press, and all of these shirts are available right now. Just go to PRODIGYBowlersTour.com and click on the link to be taken right to the store. PayPal and credit cards accepted. That's PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. Get your bowl on and bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your house. Order now. Go to PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. That's PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. So Hunter takes top honors among the littles with his 126-83 victory over Quentin. I know Quentin was disappointed, but he should be proud of the way he bowled on this day to claim the #1 spot going into the championship match. But it's Hunter who gets to sign his name to the coveted trophy pin for a 4th time.
You get to put your name on the coveted trophy pin. This makes 4 times. You pass Christian.
I haven't done this in like a month. Wait, what's the date?
Today is April 15th, 4/15.
Christian doesn't like this very much. I'm sad to say, Hunter, but nice job. Why'd you pass me?
Way to go. Way to represent Roswell,
Yeah,
buddy.
man.
I'm sorry, Christian.
Next up, the girls. After 2 games of qualifying, it was Brunswick Zone Austell's Savannah who led the way with games of 181 and 200 for a solid 381 total. The #2 position went to Brunswick Zone Roswell's Kara, who shot a 168 and 174 for a 342 series. Karina from Roswell had a chance to sneak in at the end. With a strike on her fill ball in Game 2, she could have forced a playoff with Kara for the #2 position, but she came up just 2 pins short to finish in a tie for 3rd with Alyssa J. with a 340 set. Mariah was 5th with a 296, and Alyssa W. finished with a 275 total. So here we go, the championship match among the girls. Savannah was the higher finisher, so she had the choice of starting lanes, and she is letting Kara start the match on the left. Savannah probably wants to finish first. Pretty good opening shot by Kara. Comes up just a little bit high, leaves the 4-pin. You've certainly seen Kara on our show a number of times. Savannah, one of the top young girls in the state of Georgia. She can really bowl. Kara, a U20. Savannah, a U15. Watch this style. Everything in good position, especially the pins at the end. They are all in the position we call down. And that's a solid strike to start for Savannah. She's 13. What a future this girl has. Hold it. Crosses over, though, gets the Brooklyn. And just like that, Savannah moves out to a 10-pin lead. Ooh, she breaks up the split and leaves just the 3-6-10. That's difficult enough without that lone 7-pin over on the other side of the lane.
Kara's game has really gone forward this year. Ever since she went down to the Kegel Training Center outside of Orlando over the summer, she's just gotten a whole lot better. And takes care of the 3-6-10 without a problem. I think the next step for Kara in her development is to learn to generate just a touch more speed while still maintaining her rhythm and control. Light gets the 5 to go, leaves the 2-4-8. It's difficult enough with that double wood back there, but this spare gets a whole lot more tricky if the 5-pin stays up. But you shoot it just like you would the 2-4-5-8. Just knock that 2 back into the 8. She got it. Good ball. So Savannah once again up on the right lane. Brunswick Zone Austell, a 40-lane house in Marietta, Georgia. We are on 15 and 16. This one drifts a little high. And now Savannah gets her crack at the 3-6-10. Choppable spare. You want to get over to the left side of the lane, shoot this cross lane to cut down on the chop angle, and put that ball right between the 3 and the 6. The 6 will take out the 10. Oh, look out. A little too much 3. Knocked the 6 into the gutter, and it didn't take out the 10. So she is open in the 3rd, and her lead shrinks to just 1 pin. Real simple game, very repeatable. You can tell she is well practiced, especially when you see shots like that. These girls don't get this good without putting in the work. And that means they have supportive parents. I know in Kara's case, she has supportive grandparents too. Hold it. Lucky to get 9. The one problem Kara has occasionally is she gets that elbow out to the right, gets her hand around the ball a little too soon. If she'll keep her elbow in on the downswing, keep her hand behind the ball as long as she can, she usually throws a really good ball. That one, she got around. Easy spare. Tell you what, when you're bowling on sport shots like this, spares are where it's at. Close those frames, baby. You'll be tough to beat. 2 pins separating these two right now. That one's a little wide. And did I mention the 2-4-5 a moment ago? Well, she'll get to try to make it here. Not quite as difficult as it would be with the 8-pin up. The 2-4-5-8, we call that the bucket. But the 2-4-5 is hard enough. You got to guard against chopping the 2 off the 5. You want to put the ball right between the 2 and the 5. The 2 will take out the 4. And that is textbook right there. Well, she's been solid with her spares this game. Just needs to find the pocket so that she can put an X up on the board. Savannah with a chance to extend her lead to 15, working on a strike in the 5th. Pretty good ball. I'd say high flush. Well, Savannah had games of 181 and 200. She was 39 pins ahead of Kara through qualifying. This one is pulled and goes through the nose. Now she's got a bit of a problem. The 310 baby split. We call it a baby split because it's one of those splits that you can make by touching both pins with the ball. Now you can also make it by knocking the 3 into the 10, but the way we recommend is to put the ball to the right of the 3, let the ball deflect off the 3 into the 10. But that one hooks a little too much. Looks like she threw one of her reactive balls. I think a plastic ball would be the better choice at that split. Something that doesn't hook on the back end so that it can be more likely to deflect into the 10. Now, I know that some of these kids who are likely to be bowling junior gold this summer have begun not using a spare ball so that they can get used to flattening out their wrist, throwing it straight. How about that ball right there? At their spares, there is a ball limit imposed on the kids at junior gold, and if they can get used to throwing at spares with their strike ball, it opens up another ball for them to carry in their arsenal when they bowl junior gold this summer. All right, Kara, this a chance to take the lead with a strike. And she puts that one right in the pocket. And for the first time this match, Kara moves out ahead. All right, Savannah. It's a little left off her hand, and oh! The 4-7-9. Well, this is makeable. You got to get the ball over left of the 4-pin. The 4-pin being the one in front. Just like you're shooting a 7-pin, really. Get the ball over left of the 4-pin, slide the 4 into the 9. But she would have liked to have hit the 4-pin that thin on the other side. But she sends the 4 around the 7, and that's 8 out. And now Savannah falls 21 pins in arrears late in the game. There's still time, though. She has a possible 209. Anything can happen. These girls are certainly capable of throwing strikes. That one could have struck, but she comes up light and doesn't quite get the 7 to go. She threw half the rack at it, but that reduces her possible score to 199, which still could be enough. You don't know. Just cover the spare and see what happens. No problem. But now Kara, she's got the hammer in her hand. And I don't mean the brand of ball she's throwing. I mean, working on a double, she can move out to a 31-pin lead with a strike. That's a pretty good shot right there, but it just moves a little high. Leaves the 4. So the lead is now 20. So here's the situation. Kara, if she spares this, she will be at a 199 pace. Savannah can strike out for 199. If Kara goes strike, spare, strike the rest of the way, that would give her 199. Savannah would need to go off the sheet to tie. Although, as we have seen thus far, strikes are coming at a premium. But there's the one right there. Kara finds the pocket, and now it's in Savannah's hands. She needs strikes. Well, you can't throw a better one than that. So like I said, now if Kara goes spare strike in the 10th, she'll shoot 199. If Savannah throws 3 strikes in the 10th, she finishes with 199. So all Savannah is thinking of right now is find the pocket, put a strike on the board. She needs one right here. This would get her right back in the match, too. Oh, are you kidding me? Wow. And an apparent good shot, but she must not have caught it with her fingers at the bottom. It just didn't have the juice to carry out the back row. When you leave an 8-10, you're either throwing it too hard or it just didn't have the lift to carry out the back pins. And that is an open in the 10th, and that hands the match to Kara. I know Savannah is disappointed, but she bowled well today. As I mentioned earlier, 181, 200 on a difficult condition. I know she's disappointed with the last game, but a second place finish in a field of 6, and these girls are all pretty good. Kara trips the 4 in the 10th. That'll get her into the 200s with any kind of reasonable count, unless she throws one away here. That's unusual. A pocket hit, just a little bit high. What that is the 4-7-9, but the 4 went out. So she's left with the 7-9. Doesn't matter. It's just fill ball here. She's already got the match won, so. Oh, she's going for it. Well, that's what usually happens when you go for the 7-9. But a 205 game, and Kara will be next to sign the coveted trophy pin when we return.
In the afternoon, when things slow down, when you're wondering what to do, let's go! Go bowling! Nothing brings people together or makes friends so fast as bowling. So call a friend. Bowl Brunswick tomorrow.
Well, so far, 2 matches, And 2 Roswell kids have kept the record intact of never allowing a non-Roswell bowler to win a championship game on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. This time it was Kara who held off Savannah 205 to 167. That makes Kara's 3rd win on Prodigy, so she signs her name to the coveted trophy pin yet again.
We haven't seen you with this in a while. There's a pen. Okay, we're 2 for 2 so far. The Roswell kids have swept these matches thus far.
Oh, you have to put them there.
Oh.
Yes.
Whoops.
Put the date.
It's 3.
It's 4/15.
Oh. I was looking at this
You want me to
date.
tell you
I
the
was
year,
looking at
too?
this date. No. I was looking at the other date.
4/15. 2017. Congratulations. It's the first time you've won since December. Hey, you bowled great. Congratulations. Yeah.
So we turn our attention to the group we've affectionately dubbed the Bigs. These are the boys too old to be bowling against the little kids and too male to be bowling with the females. This was our largest group, with 16 contestants in all, representing a mixture of both U20 and U15 boys. Our number 1 seed vaulted into that position on the strength of a sensational second game when he fired a 277. And that faux tournament leader is none other than Brandon, or Little B as we sometimes call him at Brunswick Zone Roswell. Little B was solid both games, starting with a 189 before he went off and posted that 277 to cap off a 466 2-game series. His challenger in the championship match is our number 2 seeded player, Zion. Zion was as steady as you can be, firing games of 214 and 219 for a total of 433. Finishing 3rd, just out of the final pairing, was Brunswick Zone Austell's Miles, who had the lead after opening with a 219, only to surrender it with a solid 207. His 426 series came up just 7 pins short of a roll-off. Roswell's Charlie was 4th with a 397 series. Another couple of Prodigy veterans were next in the standings, as CJ finished 5th with a 366, and Jesse G, or Squish as he likes to be called, came in 6th. You see the rest of the finishers here. Austell's Jeremiah was 7th, Alex with the great hair was 8th, Jonathan 9th, Hunter, who goes by Jake, was 10th, just edging Roswell's Christian by a single stick. Justin came in 12th, Andrew 13th, Eli 14th, Braden 15th, and Sean in 16th place. So here we go with our final championship match of the day. This to decide it amongst the bigs, the big kids. Zion, one of the youngsters who bowls in the youth program here at Brunswick Zone Austell, facing Brandon, who is one of our regulars at Brunswick Zone Roswell. And not to put any pressure on Brandon, but so far we've never had anyone from other than Roswell win the championship on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. So Brandon, we've had Hunter and we've had Kara, so not to put any pressure on you, buddy, but I'm just saying. Brandon has elected to let Zion start the match. And Zion's opening shot goes a little wide, and he leaves the 1, 2, 4. Zion with games of 214, 219. He looked like it was going to be between him and Miles in the championship match. Miles with games of 219, 207, and Brandon just came out of nowhere with that 277 and passed everybody. He's smooth.
gets it on the outside. That's not the way we recommend shooting the 1-2-4, but he gets it to go, and that's a spare to start. This kid seems very cool. And now let's see how Brandon does. He bowled great in the second match. He indicated a little concern bowling a U-20 here. And that's wide. He leaves the 1-2. Pretty simple spare to begin. You just move your feet a few boards to the right, throw it right over your strike target, let the ball drift Brooklyn, and have the ball take out both pins. That's not what we're looking for. Ball doesn't quite get up and sends the 1 around the 2, and that's an open frame to start for Brandon. Not what he wanted. And the worst thing about starting with an open, as anyone who's bowled in competition will tell you, is you start with an open and now you're immediately on the defensive. Pretty good ball to recover, though. 10 pin. Brandon will go with his plastic ball, I believe. That's what he usually throws at these. Move over to the left side. Shoot cross lane at it. He's had some problems with the 10 pin in the past. And look out. That one is gone. So back-to-back opens to start. Wow.
Don't worry about it. Bring it back.
And now what thoughts are going through Lil B's head? Well, there's a lot of frames left. That's what you got to tell yourself. A lot of bowling left to do this game. And Zion's shot drifts high. He leaves the 6-10. He is smooth. When he gets up here to shoot this 6-10, watch how steady his head is. That's one of the things I always look for. All the great bowlers, their head doesn't move at all through the release. And that one just slides by the 6. And he is open in the second frame. So, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of frames left. And when the scoring is difficult, as it has been at times today, although Brandon, you'd never know it watching him shoot that 277 a while ago. There's always going to be a chance to come back. Look at this. Look at this. It looks like he may have taken a little bit of speed off of that one. And so it drifted high. But the 4-6-7, he'll just go for 2 and preserve the count. That's the smart thing to do here. So he is 9 out, and the lead changes hands. It's Brandon who's out in front, despite the fact that he hasn't had a mark yet. So he has been given a huge reprieve. So he just needs to collect himself. He's taken a little extra time on this shot. If he can throw a good one here, he's right back in it. Hold it. Oh, but he trips the 4. one of the things we got to work on with Brandon is he has a tendency when the ball gets to the top, instead of letting gravity drop the ball into the swing, he pulls it down. And when you pull it down like that, invariably your right shoulder will come forward and pass your left shoulder, and resulting in a ball that misses to the left. This is a better shot. Ringing 10. Now, see if he can make this 10 pin this time. All those years watching bowling on TV, I remember Nelson Burton Jr. used to say, with single pin spares, you don't have to power them down. With spares, all you have to do is touch them. So that's all he needs to do. Move left, get that ball over on the right side of the lane. There's plenty of room. Knock that 10 down. Oh, well, obviously Bo Burton lied to us. You have to do more than just touch them. You got to touch them a little more solidly than that. He just grazed the edge. Got a wiggle out of it, but that is another open for Brandon. 3 opens in 4 frames, and he hands the lead right back to Zion. Let's see if Zion can take it and run with it this time. That is right in the heart. And now Zion, with a strike working, has a chance to extend the lead to 20 if he can put another one up right here on lane 15. This is the psychology of match play. When you've got a strike up, you got to stack another one on top of it. That's how you move out ahead. And he does. And that's big here in the match of the bigs. Now Brandon's got his work cut out for him. Mostly he's got to collect himself. He talked before this match about, I wouldn't say he characterized it as fear, but you could tell that he was concerned about bowling a U-20. He pulls that one, and he's got the 3-6. When things go off the rails like this, what you need are little successes. Let's see him make a spare here, and then maybe that'll settle him down just a little bit. Put another good shot behind it, but he got to have some success. Okay. He was so solid in that 277. I mean, obviously, you don't throw 277, and you're not lucky when you do that. But he was just in a zone. Every ball was just packed solid, except the ones that didn't strike. And now he can't seem to find the pocket. But let's see if he can get it going here. Pulls it a little bit, but it sets. And that's what I'm talking about. All right, now he's got back-to-back marks. He's not out of this game. It's only 20 pins. But now Zion working on a double. If he can put another one up here and move out ahead by 30, that would be a statement. Taking his time. Kicks out his target, and here he goes. I thought that one was a little wide, but he got it to finish and slaps out the 10, and now the lead is 30. And now he is definitely in the driver's seat. Now remember, a week or two ago, we had a match in which one of our players was up 52 after 5 frames and couldn't close the deal. So Don't sleep on Brandon just yet. High. And now he's got himself a difficult spare. The 3, 6, 9, 10. This is the spare that most pros will tell you is the most difficult of all the commonly left spares they face, because you've got to cover that back pin, the 9 pin. He's going with his plastic ball. That's a little unusual. And covers it. That's a great shot. I usually recommend throwing your strike ball at that spare because you do want to cover that back pin. But Zion shows there's more than one way to skin a cat. All right, Brandon, strike working, can cut the lead to 16 if he can put another one up here. Oh, this one's going left. Well, the funny thing is about Brandon is he went into this match concerned that he was bowling a kid that was 4 years older than he was. And yet, if you look at their league averages, Brandon has a league average of 189. Zion has a league average in the low 170s. If Brandon had considered that instead of their ages, I think he might have had a different attitude about it. But this match is not over. Brandon just needs a couple of good shots here. He might just get himself right back in it. Oh, he pulled that one, but it held pocket and he trips the 4. Brandon with a possible 196 if he strikes out. Zion is going at a 192 pace. So anything can happen here. Man, he is so smooth. Good ball. Solid 10. But that's what I'm talking about. If Brandon can pack a few strikes here at the end of the match, and Zion suddenly starts having trouble carrying, you could find yourself in a very close match at the end. Good spare. Kid is cool. Really like his game. Real simple. Everything in good position. I mean, simple is better in bowling. Like any sport where you have a repeating motion. Simpler it is, the easier it is to repeat. There's less to go wrong. Good balance, too. But let up on the speed again, and that one hooks high. And once again, he's got a difficult spare. Now, this time he doesn't have the 9 back in the back, but the 3-6-10 is hard enough as it is. Easily choppable. And we saw one of the girls chop this spare earlier. Got to get this ball over between the 3 and the 6. And that's the same way it was missed earlier. So the plot thickens. Brandon now 11 pins down, but he's working on a strike. He can cut the lead to just 1 pin. If he can put a strike up here in the 9th, and if he strikes in the 9th, 10th, and 11th, he will shut out Zion. So it's there for the taking for Brandon. Pretty good ball, soft 10. You see his body language? That's what Brandon looks like when he feels beat. and yet he's only 11 down. I don't think these kids quite understand yet that these close matches can go either way. A double here, an open there, and you're right back in it. But he hasn't bowled well this game, and so he was just feeling deflated. He needs to cover this spare right here. He's had trouble with the 10-pin this match. But he gets it this time. Those two 10-pins that he missed earlier and the 1-2 that he missed in the opening frame, if he covers those three spares, he's way out ahead. Spares, spares, spares. It's always spares on a sport shot. All right, Brandon with a possible 176. If he can get 3 strikes here, he'll force Zion to fill 20 in the 10th to beat him. That one sails wide and he gets short count. So now that reduces his possible score to 163 if he makes this and strikes. Well, that'll at least force Zion to show up in the 10th anyway. All right, good cover.
All right, finish up, finish up, fill it up.
Every pin counts here. He can't force Zion to mark, but he can at least force Zion to get good count. If he can get a strike, Zion will need 7 in the 10th to beat him. You never know, he might greet church or something. Pocket. Messenger. Yes! Well, I think that one's worth a second look. Watch the head pin. The head pin goes to the left wall, comes off the left wall, rolls into the 10, and thank you very much. We'll take that strike. But the situation is this. It comes down to one frame. Zion needs 7 pins to beat Brandon. Oh! Oh, he had the 4, 7, 9, 10 standing there for just an instant. That could have been interesting, but as it is, that 9 count puts Zion over the top, and he is our winner. And Zion, the first ever non-Roswell bowler to win on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, a spare in the 10th. How about that? All the kids we've had visit from Stars and Strikes and from Lilburn and kids from South Georgia who have come to bowl with us. But it was Zion from Brunswick Zone Austell who broke the spell, and he becomes the first non-Roswell bowler to sign the coveted trophy pin when we return.
Just joined your first bowling league? Been giving some thought to the idea you'd really like to take up bowling as a sport?
The first step to becoming a good bowler is to have the right equipment. Belmont Lanes has one of the finest pro shops in Cobb County.
Let us outfit you with your own Brunswick ball bag and shoes. Our professional staff will provide you with a custom fit and engraving.
Accessories are available too, from wristbands to bowling shirts for you or your team, and a wide selection of Brunswick equipment priced to suit any budget.
Stop by Belmont Lanes. Find out how inexpensive bowling equipment can be.
We're located at 1000 Cherokee Road behind the Belmont Hill Shopping Center in Smyrna.
Congratulations to Zion on his 177-163 victory over Brandon and a stellar field of contenders. And you know what that means. There's a new name going on the coveted trophy pin.
You hold the distinction
of being the first non-Roswell bowler to win. We have had visitors from Lilburn. We've had visitors from Stars and Stripes. We've had visitors from all across the state. But we had to come to Austell to find somebody to win who doesn't bowl at Roswell.
Way to represent Austell!
So way to represent Austell. I know they're going to be happy.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations to all three of our winners at our first ever Prodigy Bowlers Tour road trip. Kara and Hunter from Brunswick Zone Roswell, and Zion from the program at Brunswick Zone Austell.
Zion and a proud mom, I take it. Yes.
All three of our kids bowled great to get here and did what it takes to find the stuff of victory. And a quick word to our runners-up, especially Brandon and Savannah. Brandon had expressed concern over bowling an opponent who was in the U20 division. And even Savannah's mom mentioned to me after her match that she was bowling against a U20 in Kara. Yet I think we know that Brandon wasn't thinking about all those U20 boys he was bowling against when he shot that 277 in qualifying. And I'm pretty sure that Savannah wasn't thinking about there being a U20 girl in her field when she beat all the girls in qualifying. The truth is, Brandon averages a good 15 pins or more higher than Zion, and Savannah's league average is a few pins higher than Kara's. Both Brandon and Savannah were quite capable of beating their opponents. But here's the deal. If you go into a match questioning whether you belong, thinking you'll need anything more than your own game to win, you're already beat. You've already beat yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. I think 9-year-old Hunter has the best attitude. He doesn't care if he's bowling against the big kids or if he's bowling Jason Belmonte. He's playing to win regardless and doesn't consider the obstacles in front of him. He just bowls his game. And that's good advice for everybody. We hope to have another Prodigy episode for you next week or the week after. But once again, possible scheduling conflicts with a big tournament have our Prodigy filming schedule a bit up in the air. Follow us on Twitter @Prodigy Bowlers to receive updates as we get them.